All right, let's get into it. Imagine a world with no boxing gloves, no fancy stadiums, just pure survival. That's where you find Muay Boran. The name itself tells you what it is. Muay means boxing and Boran means ancient. So we're talking about the ancient boxing of Thailand. This isn't just a sport. It's a raw, powerful martial art that was born from necessity. It was created hundreds, maybe even thousands of years ago, when the people of Siam, what we now call Thailand, needed to defend their homes and their lives. It was their ultimate survival tool, a way to turn the human body into a weapon when everything else failed. It's the grandfather of the famous Muay Thai you see today, but much more rugged and untamed. Think of it this way. Out in the wild, you have to use everything at your disposal. Your hands, your feet, your elbows, your knees. They all become tools for survival. Muay Boran is exactly that. It's known as the Art of 9 limbs. Why 9? Because it includes the fists, feet, elbows and knees. That's 8 plus the head. Yes, headbutts were fair game. This was combat designed for the battlefield where there were no rules, no referees, just the will to survive. It was about ending a fight as quickly and decisively as possible. This art was passed down from generation to generation, not in gyms, but in villages, temples and military camps. It was a part of the very fabric of Thai culture. The techniques you find in Muay Boran are incredibly diverse. Each region of Thailand developed its own unique style, adapted to its environment and people. You had Muay Chaya from the south, known for its strong defense and powerful compact strikes. Then there was Muay Korat from the northeast, famous for its heavy buffalo-charging punches. Muay Lopburi from the central region was all about clever, tricky movements and pinpoint accuracy. These weren't just different sets of moves, they were complete fighting systems, each with its own philosophy and strategy. It was a beautiful, deadly mosaic of human ingenuity, crafted for the ultimate test of survival. So, when you look at Muay Boran, you're not just seeing a collection of punches and kicks, you're looking at a living piece of history. You're seeing the spirit of ancient warriors who faced incredible dangers with courage and skill. This art is a direct link to a tougher time, a time when being able to defend yourself was not a hobby, but a fundamental part of life. It's about understanding the raw power of the human body and the unshakable spirit needed to push through any challenge. It's about survival, plain and simple. And that is something truly incredible to witness and respect. Now, a lot of people get Muay Boran and modern Muay Thai mixed up. They look similar, but they are worlds apart. It's like comparing a wild wolf to a trained guard dog. Both are powerful, but one is built for the wild and the other is shaped by rules. Muay Thai, the sport you see in the big stadiums of Bangkok with bright lights and cheering crowds, is the modern evolution. It's a fantastic sport, a real test of endurance and skill, but it operates within a strict set of rules. You've got gloves, weight classes, rounds and a referee to keep things in check. Certain moves are banned to protect the fighters. It's a contest of skill, a sport. Muay Boran is the ancient ancestor, the wolf. It was never a sport in the modern sense. It was a combat system for self-defense and warfare. The goal wasn't to score points, it was to neutralize a threat. Fast. This means Muay Boran includes a whole arsenal of techniques that are illegal in Muay Thai. We're talking about headbutts, throws, joint locks, and even attacks to the groin and eyes. It's brutal, but on a battlefield or in a dark alley, there are no rules. You use what works. The fighters didn't wear padded gloves. They wrapped their hands in rope, sometimes with bits of glass mixed in for extra damage. It was raw, dangerous, and incredibly effective. The stance and movement are also different. In a Muay Thai ring, fighters often have a more upright, forward-moving stance, ready to exchange powerful kicks and punches. They are conditioned for timed rounds. A Muay Boran practitioner, however, often keeps a lower center of gravity. Their stance is more grounded, ready to defend against any kind of attack from any angle. The footwork is more about evasion and setting up devastating counters, not just marching forward. it's a different mindset. One is about winning a match, the other is about surviving an encounter. The rhythm is less predictable, more chaotic, just like a real fight. Ultimately, the biggest difference is the purpose. Muay Thai was adapted for the ring. It was made safer, more spectator-friendly, and standardized so fighters from different places could compete fairly. This was a necessary step for it to become a global sport. But in that process, some of the old ways were lost. Muay Boran preserves that original lethality. It holds onto the techniques that were too dangerous for the ring. It's a reminder that before the points and the prize money, this art was about one thing: staying alive when the odds were stacked against you. It's the untamed soul of Thai martial arts. To understand Muay Boran, you have to go back in time to the ancient battlefields of Siam. This wasn't an art developed in a peaceful dojo. It was forged in the heat of conflict, during centuries of wars with neighboring kingdoms. When a Siamese soldier lost his spear or sword in the chaos of battle, he wasn't helpless. He was still a weapon. His body, conditioned through years of brutal training, was his last line of defense. This is the heart of Muay Boran's origin story. It was the ultimate backup system, a warrior's empty-hand combat skill, designed to be just as deadly as any blade. The techniques were developed for real-world combat scenarios. A kick wasn't just a kick. It was aimed at breaking a leg to stop a charging enemy. An elbow strike wasn't for points. It was a devastating blow aimed at the temple or jaw to end the fight instantly. Fighters learned how to use their environment, how to fight on uneven ground, and how to face multiple opponents. They trained to be tough, to absorb punishment, and to keep fighting no matter what. This brutal reality shaped the art. Every movement had a purpose, and that purpose was survival on the battlefield. This battlefield origin is why Muay Boran is so comprehensive. It's not just about striking, it includes grappling, throws, and controlling an opponent. A technique called Hakkor Erawan, which means to break the elephant's neck, is a type of clinch and throw designed to bring a larger opponent crashing to the ground. These moves were essential for dealing with armed or armored enemies. You couldn't just punch a guy wearing armor. You had to get in close, unbalance him, and attack the weak points. This practical, no-nonsense approach is what made Muay Boran such a feared and respected martial art among Siam's enemies. The training was relentless. Soldiers would practice for hours every day, hardening their bodies and sharpening their skills. They would kick banana trees to condition their shins until they were like steel rods. They would practice striking coconuts to improve their power and accuracy. This wasn't about getting a black belt or winning a trophy. It was about making sure you were the one who walked away from the battle. The art was passed down from veteran soldiers to new recruits, a cycle of knowledge born from real-world experience. This is what gives Muay Boran its authentic battle-hardened edge. It is truly a warrior's art. Long before there were modern gyms with heavy bags and shiny equipment, Muay Boran was taught in the heart of Thai villages. The training ground was anywhere you could find space, a dusty yard, a temple courtyard, or a clearing in the jungle. This was where young boys, and sometimes girls, would begin their journey. It was a community affair. The teacher, or crew, was often a former soldier, a monk, or a respected elder who held the knowledge of the art. He would take on a small group of students, teaching them not just how to fight, but how to live with discipline and honor. The training methods were simple but incredibly effective. They used what nature provided. To build powerful legs and tough shins, students would repeatedly kick banana trees. The soft, fibrous trunk would absorb the impact but still provide enough resistance to harden the bone and skin over time. They would practice their balance by walking along fallen logs. To improve their focus and timing, they would try to strike a lime or a coconut hanging from a string. It was all about using the environment as your gym. This kind of training builds a different kind of strength, a rugged, adaptable resilience that you just can't get from modern equipment. The conditioning was brutal. Students would spend hours performing drills to toughen their bodies. They would do endless push-ups, squats, and sit-ups. They would practice rolling on the hard ground to learn how to fall without injury. Their training partners weren't just for sparring, they were for conditioning. One student might repeatedly kick another's stomach or legs with controlled force to help both of them build up a tolerance to pain and impact. It sounds harsh, but it was necessary. It forged fighters who were physically and mentally unbreakable, ready for the unforgiving world of bare-knuckle fighting. But it wasn't all physical. The crew taught his students the importance of respect and humility. A training session would always begin and end with a Wai Kru, a sign of respect to the teacher and the generations of masters who came before. The students learned that the skills they were acquiring were not to be used for bullying or showing off. They were to be used for protection of oneself, one's family, and one's community. This deep connection between the physical training and the moral teachings is what made Muay Boran more than just a fighting style. It was a way of building character. Every great art has its heroes, and Muay Boran is no exception. The stories of its legendary fighters are told and retold, inspiring new generations. Perhaps the most famous of all is Nai Kanom Tom. His story is a legend of courage and national pride. In 1767, the ancient Thai capital of Ayutthaya fell to Burmese invaders. Nai Kanom Tom, along with many other Thais, was taken as a prisoner of war. In 1774, the Burmese king wanted to hold a celebration and pit his best fighters against the captured Siamese boxers to see whose art was superior. Nai Kanom Tom was chosen to represent his people. Before the fight, Nai Kanom Tom performed the traditional Wai Kru Ram Muay, a ritual dance to honor his teachers and his country. The Burmese were mesmerized by this strange, graceful ritual. When the fight began, he quickly knocked out his opponent with a series of powerful kicks and elbows. The Burmese thought the pre-fight dance was some kind of black magic that had distracted their fighter. So, the king ordered him to fight another, and then another. Legend says that Nai Kanom Tom fought and defeated 10 of Burma's greatest champions in a row without any rest. He fought with such skill and heart that he earned his freedom and the respect of his enemies. Another legendary figure is the Tiger King, Phra Chao Suea. He was a king of Ayutthaya in the early 18th century who had a deep passion for Muay Boran. He loved the art so much that he would often disguise himself as a commoner and travel to different villages to compete in local festivals. He wanted to test his skills against the best fighters in the land without them knowing he was the king. He is said to have been an incredible fighter, winning many matches and earning a reputation as a formidable, unknown warrior. His reign helped to popularize Muay Boran across the kingdom and elevate it as a noble art. These stories are more than just exciting tales. They represent the spirit of Muay Boran. Nai Kanom Tom's story is one of resilience and fighting for honor, even when all seems lost. It shows that one person, armed with skill and an unbreakable will, can overcome impossible odds. The story of the Tiger King shows that Muay Boran was an art for everyone, from the common villager to the king himself. It was a great equalizer. These legends were the living embodiment of what the art stood for: courage, skill, humility, and an undying love for their homeland. Their legacy is a powerful reminder of the human spirit's capacity for greatness. Muay Boran was never just about fighting. It was woven into the very soul of Thai culture. It was a part of village festivals, religious ceremonies, and daily life. Fights were often the main event at local celebrations, a way for communities to come together and showcase their best warriors. These events weren't just about violence. They were a form of entertainment, a test of skill, and a source of local pride. The entire village would turn out to watch, cheering for their champion. It was a way to build community spirit and honor the traditions that bound them together. The spiritual and ritualistic side of Muay Boran is incredibly important. Before every fight, a fighter performs the Wai Kru Ram Muay. The Wai Kru part is the gesture of respect to the teacher, parents, and king. The Ram Muay is the ritual dance itself. Each fighter's dance is unique. representing their style, their region, and their master's teachings. It's a beautiful, hypnotic display of movement that serves several purposes. It's a way to pay homage, a way to warm up the muscles, and a way to focus the mind for the battle ahead. It's a moment of calm and concentration before the storm. Fighters also wore sacred amulets and headbands. The mongkon is a headband that is blessed by a monk or the fighter's teacher. It is considered sacred and is believed to offer protection and good fortune. The fighter wears it during the Wai Kru ritual but takes it off before the fight begins. They might also wear prajud, which are armbands also blessed, that are worn throughout the fight. These items weren't just decoration, they were deeply symbolic, connecting the fighter to their faith, their family, and their teacher. It was a reminder that they were not fighting alone. They carried the hopes and blessings of their community with them. This deep cultural integration meant that Muay Boran taught more than just self-defense. It taught a way of life. It taught young people about their history, their community, and their place in the world. The discipline learned in training was applied to everyday life, to work, family, and social responsibilities. The respect shown to the teacher was extended to all elders. The courage shown in the ring was a model for facing life's other challenges. In this way, Muay Boran was a complete system for personal development, shaping not just strong fighters, but also strong, responsible members of society. The turning point for Muay Boran came in the early 20th century. Thailand was modernizing, and it wanted to present a more civilized image to the world, particularly to the West. The old ways of bare-knuckle fighting with rope-bound fists were seen as too brutal and chaotic. This led to a major transformation. In the 1920s and 1930s, the art was standardized and brought into permanent, purpose-built stadiums, like the famous Rajadamnern and Lumpini stadiums in Bangkok. This was the birth of modern Muay Thai as a sport. But with these new walls came new rules. The changes were dramatic. First, the rope bindings, or card chuek, were replaced with boxing gloves, similar to those used in Western boxing. This single change had a massive impact. Gloves protect the hands, allowing fighters to punch harder and more often without breaking their knuckles, but they also soften the blow, changing the nature of the strikes. The sharp, cutting power of an elbow or the bone-on-bone impact of a bare-knuckle punch was different. The fight became less about a single, decisive blow and more about accumulating damage over several rounds. Timed rounds were introduced, as were weight classes, creating a more structured and predictable contest. With the new rules, many of the most dangerous techniques of Muay Boran had to be thrown out. Headbutts were banned. Throws and grappling techniques that resembled judo or wrestling were heavily restricted. Attacks to the groin, spine, and the back of the head were made illegal. The focus shifted almost entirely to stand-up striking punches, kicks, knees, and elbows. This made the sport safer and more accessible for athletes, and easier for audiences to understand. It was a necessary evolution for Muay Thai to become the global phenomenon it is today, but it meant leaving a significant part of its ancestral heritage behind. This shift to a sport also changed the training and the mindset. Fighters began training specifically for the ring, focusing on the techniques that would score points and win matches under the new rule set. The conditioning became about having the stamina to last 5 3-minute rounds, not about surviving an unpredictable street fight. The old regional styles of Muay Boran started to blend together into a more uniform stadium style of Muay Thai. While this new sport was incredibly effective and exciting, the ancient, all-encompassing combat art of Muay Boran began to fade into the background, preserved only by a few dedicated masters. At the very core of Muay Boran, deeper than any punch or kick, lies a powerful code of conduct. This code is built on 3 pillars: tradition, respect, and discipline. These aren't just fancy words. They are the foundation that gives the art its meaning and strength. Without them, Muay Boran would just be a collection of violent moves. With them, it becomes a path to self-improvement and a way of honoring the past. This code is what separates a true martial artist from a simple brawler. It's about building character, not just a strong body. Tradition is the anchor. It connects every student to the long line of masters who came before them. When a fighter performs the Wai Kru ritual, they are not just going through the motions. They are actively honoring their teacher, their teacher's teacher, and all the generations of warriors who developed and preserved this art. This deep sense of history gives the practice weight and purpose. It reminds the fighter that they are a custodian of something precious, a link in a chain that stretches back centuries. Upholding tradition means practicing the art with integrity and ensuring that its true spirit is passed on to the next generation. Respect, or kwam karoap, is perhaps the most important value. A Muay Boran student learns to show respect to everyone and everything. They respect their teacher for their knowledge and guidance. They respect their training partners, because without them, they cannot grow. They respect their opponents because they provide the ultimate test of their skill and spirit. They even learn to respect the art itself by never using it irresponsibly. This culture of respect creates a safe and supportive training environment where everyone can push their limits. It teaches humility, the understanding that there is always more to learn and that you are part of something bigger than yourself. Discipline is the engine that drives progress. The training is hard, often painful, and requires immense dedication. It takes discipline to show up every day, even when you are tired and sore. It takes discipline to push through the pain barrier and to keep practicing a technique thousands of times until it becomes second nature. But this discipline extends beyond the training hall. It shapes a person's entire life. It teaches them self-control, focus, and the ability to persevere in the face of any challenge. A disciplined mind is the fighter's greatest weapon, allowing them to stay calm and think clearly under extreme pressure. This is the ultimate goal of the training. You might think that in our modern world of high-tech sports and entertainment, an ancient art like Muay Boran would be forgotten. But you'd be wrong. The ancient fire still burns, and in some ways, it's burning brighter than ever. There is a growing movement of people around the world who are looking for something more than just a workout. They are seeking authenticity, a connection to history, and a deeper understanding of martial arts. They are rediscovering Muay Boran not as a replacement for Muay Thai, but as its essential, untamed soul. People are drawn to Muay Boran for many reasons. Some are martial arts historians or experienced fighters who want to explore the roots of Muay Thai. They want to learn the techniques that were lost when the art moved into the stadium, the throws, the locks, the old-style footwork. Others are looking for a practical and effective system of self-defense. They recognize that the no-rules approach of Muay Boran is incredibly well-suited for real-world survival situations. It teaches you to be adaptable, resourceful, and decisive, which are critical skills when your safety is on the line. Preserving this art for the future is a vital mission. Dedicated masters, or crews, in Thailand and around the world are working hard to keep the old ways alive. They are documenting the techniques, teaching seminars, and ensuring that the art is passed on with its cultural and spiritual context intact. They understand that if you only teach the moves without the history, respect, and discipline, you lose the essence of what Muay Boran is. These teachers are the guardians of a priceless cultural heritage, and their work ensures that the art will not become a museum piece but will remain a living, breathing practice. The enduring legacy of Muay Boran is its timeless wisdom. It teaches us that true strength comes from a combination of a hard body, a sharp mind, and a humble spirit. It reminds us of the importance of honoring our past and respecting those who guide us. In a world that is constantly changing, Muay Boran offers a connection to something ancient, powerful, and real. It is more than a martial art. It is a blueprint for survival, a path to self-discovery, and a testament to the incredible resilience of the human spirit. and that is a legacy worth fighting for.